I mean, it's warm inside. It's a little chilly outside.
Joseph.
Hey.
Hey, should we arrange something for our team?
Yeah, totally. That would
Okay.
be great.
Yeah. I guess it's me, right? It's me arranging it, right?
Yeah. You're in charge this time. Yay.
I am not.
The other reunion.
I just was the person who was the first who moved. So I'm
You're
sure.
like, you made me the leader and I didn't even volunteer.
Yeah, I just asked.
Is that one of the?
That's the way it works. Like in my household, you ask a question, you become in charge of it, right?
Yes. It's the exact same thing in my household. But I thought I'm in a safe space, but I'm not. What do you mean?
I have a Zoom or a GoToMeeting we could schedule. I could help you schedule it if you want me to. Yeah, put me in charge of it. See, as the leader, you can put me in charge of it.
Okay, then.
Yeah, you're the leader. So the leader can say, hey, can you do this for the group? Can you do this for the group? Can you do that? And then you don't do anything. That's what you can do.
You know, that's maybe the reason why I don't want to be the leader, because I don't want to send around people.
Oh, you don't want to tell people what to do.
No.
Yeah, help them out. Help her out, Goose. Help her out.
All right, I'll do what I can. I'm just pinning this here in the main community right now. I'm pinned and pinned so that everyone can jump into the mastermind. Beautiful. Okay, let's. I first want to start off with hearing how everyone is freaking doing today, especially some of the newbies. We have Artem, Jan, Zion. I think Zion, you've already been here on one before. So let's. Who wants to start first between the three of you guys? All right, I'll go ahead and pick. I'll tell you right now. All right, so Zion, I want to get a quick intro from you. Here's what you're. Tell me what it is that you're working on, what brought you here, and what's your favorite color?
My favorite color?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, it changes every minute. But right now, let's say blue, because I'm wearing a lot of blue. Yeah, I'm working on my blue. Yes. I like to wear a specific color, and it kind of charges me on that color. I don't know.
Badass.
So it's a blue day. It's a blue day today. We got the blue shirt, the blue hat. I'm feeling like spitting some truths.
Love it.
The other two questions. Sorry, I got distracted by the best one.
Yeah. What are you working on? What is it that you're trying to build in 30 seconds or less?
30 seconds. I am building a school community. I haven't entirely locked in the offer or the niche. There's two ideas. One is basically like group manifestation, law of attraction, several people visualizing the dreams of one person to like help them break through the obstacles that would be there for visualizing and feeling that as a truth for them. Sometimes it's difficult to get started in that. So it's like working in groups, all visualizing together to help you break through. The other one is a more extensive kind of helping perhaps domestic violence survivors or people stuck in situations where they're imprisoned by their expectations. And it's like we work to give them a supportive family, friend environment, and to clarify where they want to be, and to step by step move them where they want to go, that kind of thing. Free them from whatever kind of situation they feel stuck in. There's a third one, which is I won't talk about because that's at least 45 seconds.
Okay, well then we'll make more time later in the call to jump through it. Thank you for sharing those two, though. Those are great. Actually, I want to pause real quick before I jump to a couple of you guys. I just noticed that Haley and Thomas are here today. I haven't seen you guys jump on in a minute. Tom, I'd love to hear a little bit from you. What are you working on? What brought you here? Share a little bit about that to the group.
Well, we're doing this call, well, obviously because of the Blitz, you know. So we got the Blitz thing going on. We had a call on, I think it was Friday. And then we're gonna have another call, and we like the mastermind's happening, so let's just hop on the mastermind, and then maybe break out after that and dig more into. Yeah, it's been really good helping us all get more focused on our communities.
Great. Yeah, I've been hearing that a lot. That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. Haley, is that the same for you? You still there?
Yeah. Same for me. Exactly.
Cool.
So
right.
I think the timing just worked out here.
Perfect. Can you give me 30 seconds about the community that each of you are working in?
So we're doing a filmmakers community. I have a partner, Lena Light Pleoplite. She's a Lithuanian filmmaker, and she's made some great films. And she's had an accelerator for a couple of years now, and we're just bringing it onto school.
Very cool, man. I love that. And you and Haley are both working on that, yeah?
No, Haley's got her own thing she's working on.
Cool. Haley, tell us about yours. Give us your 30 seconds.
I'm part of that community though. I am working on a community for PhD students, those who have graduated with a PhD, or those who are interested in a PhD program.
Oh, cool. Awesome. I love it. It's so cool how many different community groups are starting to show up now. I really want to see more and more of that. It's great to have these niches filled. Cool. Thank you for sharing. Let's hear from Jan. Artem, who wants to go first?
Yes, I'm from Germany, and my favorite colors are green and lila. I think it's called purple, this color.
Yeah, badass.
Yes, I'm building a German community named Entspannungsraum, which is all about relaxation techniques.
Cool. I love that. Is it fairly new?
My first idea was on 3rd of January, so it's only 17 days ago, and I've already like 50 founding members which are interested. So
amazing.
Yeah, it's
yeah, we're seeing a lot of Germany on there recently. What city are you in?
Hanover. Oh,
sweet. Okay, we're talking about doing an event in Berlin here soon.
Oh, interesting.
Possibly 2 of them. So if you're in or around that area, brace yourself. May happen here in the next month or so.
Oh, interesting.
Cool. Thank you for sharing that, man. Glad to have you on. Artem, go ahead and hit us, man.
Hey everyone. I'm from Russia. Probably the only person here from Russia. So my favorite color is green.
Nice.
Just like Jan's. Yeah. And my community is helping English learners become English speakers. So I had a problem of not being able to speak English fluently because I come from Russia. Not a lot of people speak English here. And so I help English learners become English speakers by immersing themselves in English and helping them with speaking practice.
Very cool. Yeah. I'm so excited to see that. That is such a cool brand new market. You might be among the first.
Yes.
First 3 or 4 people. So this is gonna be fucking great. And Artemis told me that he knows a handful of other creators there. So I don't know, Germany may be overtaken by Russia here in population on this call. Cool. Okay. Let's see any other new faces. Oh, I'll get you, Santiago, here in a second. But beforehand, can we talk about Nicholas's hair right now? What's that cost? What happened? That's amazing.
What's up?
What did you do?
What do you mean what I do?
Well, where'd your hair go?
I cut it back in August.
In August? So you've been wearing a hat this whole time and I just haven't been able to notice?
I guess so.
Dude, what? This is like a 6-month delayed heart attack. Oh my God.
I know, right? Just been building.
Wow, rad, man. He's even like, it looks like a button up and shit right now. Jesus. Are we bothering your conference call right now? Do we interrupt something?
Not yet. Thomas, Haley, and I are gonna do our meeting soon.
Love it. Okay, I'm very glad to hear that. Cool. Well, great. We have one more, Santiago over here, who was a huge help at the Colombia IRL event, our first school event in South America, which went amazingly. So, Santiago, give us a little bit about you. Your 30 seconds of what you're doing.
Yeah, so I'm operating for creators. I'm not creating a school community for myself. Getting ready to launch a high ticket for the end of this month. And yeah, really excited to learn a lot. Learned a ton at the event yesterday. If there's ever a real life school event near you, make sure to go because you meet a ton of amazing people. Learn a ton, and it's a great time. And then my favorite color would be green, probably as well. So yeah, nice to meet all of you guys. Just by show of emoji, who has the favorite color green? This is kind of weird. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 people. Okay, wow, pretty cool, man. Love that. All right, so I've got a couple things to share with you guys. The first one of the question, and the next one is kind of a banger bit of information that I've gone over once before, but I think we may as well get a little bit more into it because it's going to be relevant to just about everybody here. And absolutely no one is talking about it yet at the platform. And it's probably one of the biggest things we talked about at the IRL event yesterday. So before I get into that, the first thing is I'm thinking conceivably, if we did 12 locations a year, school IRL events, but 2 events per month, which was an idea that we had to come up with recently, what would that be kind of cool? Let's say, for example, I show up in Germany. First, we have an event that is like, here's what you can do. Here's your homework. Go do that shit. And it's like 100 people. And then we have another event 2, 3 weeks later. And hey, did you do that? What's the progress and all of that stuff, right? And so we basically pick 12 locations, and I just go do 2 events in each of those spots. But no, sorry, 24 events, but in 12 locations. Any thoughts? Is that ridiculous? Is that a better version of what we were talking about before? Worse? What do you think?
Could I ask a newbie question?
Yeah, of course.
What exactly are you doing at the event, and what is the event? Like I don't have a picture of exactly what you do when you go to each of the countries. That would help me answer.
Yeah, great question. So it's twofold. The first one is it's a meetup. So it's the opportunity for you to meet other people that are working on the same platform that you're working on, trying to grow their communities and find out sustainable ways to maintain it. That's a big one. The second part is that you see experienced people who have succeeded in certain ways, and you get to hear how they did it. So it's a two things. Basically, imagine this mastermind one person with more people. Any feedback at all? Would it be better to just have one grand event, or is it interesting to have like 2 events in your city? Kind of like on a blitz thing where you're assigned, hey, go ahead and do your stuff, and then we'll check in all together with the progress here.
How long do you
one of
need?
the thoughts I have.
You go. I spoke before. You go.
Oh no, I was just saying, in how many people per event did you have? I think that kind of is a big part of it. If you have 2 different ones in a month, depending on like how local it is, then it'd probably be hard to like have someone come back to a city if they were like traveling to that city. If it was not exactly what it is.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so probably just the one then. Okay, Diana?
I actually would challenge if when you go to the event and you introduce the idea and you have, let's say, 200 people attending the event, if probably like 10, 20 would do something really nice. If you just take the numbers game and having those people more on the willing side and probably also a little bit more on the competitive side, how to bring those together from different events.
Oh, interesting. So it would almost be a competition to attend the next one.
It doesn't need to be a competition, but like if you did, like if you came so far, that is your ticket to like get to exchange with other people who do the thing and not just listen.
Oh no.
What do you think, Nina? Sounds like you got a thought over there.
Oh well, yeah. I thought another thing with competition.
No, but I don't mean
Really?
compete. I literally mean like, it's just like as mentioned, travel logistics and everything, and also the frequency. Like if you really have people doing the thing, they are very likely not. having the time, finances, and everything just to make the free time. So, but having like, I don't know, make 3 events, and then you like the people from 3 events you put together. So you still have a serious amount of people, and not just like those 10 in the room. They get to know each other. So that is just like making the community circle bigger for them.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, first you explore the new world of school, and you get to know new people, and then kind of same like what here is in the room, you know, like I know Thomas and I know you from Belfast, and in Belfast there have been probably 40-ish, 50-ish people, so it crystallizes. So you keep some connections, and you like to get more of the same quality, but they don't come from the same source potentially.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Okay, love that. Any other feedback? All right, cool. If you have any thoughts about it, let me know, because I'll probably be making that decision within the next 2 weeks or less. And then maybe there'll be like a Goose World Tour sort of thing. I don't know. We're still, and I are working on some things. All right, so 2 big things to talk about. First one, we're going to jump through the biggest issue that people have in growing their community. We talked about it once before, so I'll get in one more time. Basically, it is that you don't want to open your second community too soon, or else you will increase the labor that you are required to put in 4 times, which is a lot, because community building is already a difficult thing. The reason is because usually in a perfect world, you have a free, a low ticket, high ticket, and everything's running smoothly. What a great world to live in. You've got at least 2 revenue streams, and they all feed the same category, all in one tranche. But if you're growing a free community, prior to say 300 to 500 engagements, like a flywheel sort of community, do we all know this term flywheel, where you can leave the room and the community's still running, right? So 300 to 500 is where you start reaching a sort of flywheel situation. And if you are pre that and you're opening up a paid community, you've now done 2 things. You now have to double the amount of labor that you're putting in on running communities, and you also are taking your best paying members, putting them in a brand new growth agent. What a great way to give yourself way more fucking money. So what I always recommend, and I will be talking about a lot, is to do that before it becomes a problem later on. And actually, in a lot of cases, pivoting, even if you've opened your other community, you can still pivot and have much more growth after like a week of, hey, by the way, we're going to move back in this community. You're still paying, but you're going to be paying in the free community now. And it's your job to just make, which is completely possible. No one will get pissed off, so don't even worry about that. Making sure that you're just clear. Hey, if you want to be on this call, which is for paid members, it's, you know, in this classroom, you get the link and you save it in your calendar. This classroom, it's just for paid members, all of that kind of thing. That's a very, very brief overview. Who has questions about that? Because I left out a few parts, but I wanted to make sure everyone understood that. If you're struggling and you have sub 300 to 500 engagements within your free or your paid or both, you probably need to get rid of one and just focus on the other. And I will say one additional thing actually, which is that you'll see I have 3 community, but I only use 2. So in a lot of cases, you may, like in a perfect world, you have 1 more than you're actually using. The reason why I have 3 is so people can see I have a high ticket offer that's sitting around, but I don't actually do anything with it. All of those members that are saying are now being moved into the low ticket. And so they're here amongst you. And that helps make sure that all of the low ticket members that I have are benefiting from what the high ticket wins are talking about. And ideally, from what we've seen, when you start seeing people that are winning that are in the community, you're like, well, fuck, I kind of want to be a part of that. Totally makes sense, right? But they're right there with you. So you have questions, engage, this sort of thing. Okay. Question. Go ahead, man.
Again, not a question, but I personally don't like the idea of splitting it at all, because just like I don't want to handle and deal with it. It's just like being lazy. That's the one thing. And the other thing is, I would say the criteria for me would be if the higher paid ticket, whatever higher is not about exactly the same topic, then it makes sense. But only then. If you speak about the same thing in 2 different places, That's such an odd thing. You even have members who stay in both communities, posting the same thing in parallel, answering the same question differently there, and it's actually taking down the quality overall.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. I agree with you. Danielle?
Would you say not to divide two paying communities, or would you also say not to divide one free community and a paid community? So would you also merge this and give the paid or give the people who pay access to certain classrooms and to certain live calls, but they stay together in the free community? Or would you, and the other question is, would you turn it paid, but let all the free community members who were in the free community stay as free members in a paid community?
Mm-hmm.
How would you handle that?
Great question. Yeah. Well, usually, so from what I've seen is if you start with a free community and you include paid members in it, as long as you're active on it, making sure that it is clean of like trash comments and posts and stuff like that, which is usually pretty simple, especially if you're not running ads, right? Then at that rate, it's pretty sustainable because all the free people can just see the paid people, which are making very visible, and they're posting their wins. Right, so that's quite straightforward. At some point, when you're, it seems like you're talking about like what does ascendancy look like in that case. The technical side for anyone who's wondering is that you would be on a sales call with them, probably, hey, I'm ready to buy this thing. You go, okay, go ahead and follow this link. The regular link to the community they're already in, but you just routed them, and so now this time they're able to sign up for it and they're back in the same community. So that's the technical side. But more to what do you do from that point when you open the next community, or do you turn that to paid, right? Well, you could. The 80-20 that I've seen is that when it starts hurting, when you're starting to have a little bit too much pressure and activity, like that's a good problem that you want to have, then you can start opening up another community where you have, as Diana said, a something that you teach that's specific, right? So you can remove, as most of us, I think, understand, when you're going from free to low ticket to high ticket, you're giving more and more access to you over time. So you slowly move the parts that are the value, the high value that you give for free, into the categories where it's worth what's being paid. Does that answer your question okay?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Absolutely. Cool. Any other questions about that? Awesome. Feel free to make a post or something when you get to that point, because I know there's a lot of details there, especially if you're considering making a pivot. And I call a pivot in this case like when you're when you've already opened to community, when you have like 10 to 20 people in your paid, right? But you're splitting your energy and time, and the engagements aren't reaching across. A lot of times it makes sense to go back and take a step back in order to take 3 steps forward. And that's what this looks like. So let any of us know if you're having trouble with that. And stop me if you have any more questions about it. The next thing, which is much more exciting here, that I want to find out a bit more about, is the buddy system. So everyone saw that post that went up just a few days ago. How has anyone started using it yet? Emojis if you have. No one yet. Okay, cool. Then this is a great conversation to have it. So so the reason why we decided to implement that, I've been looking around a lot, is because I don't know if you saw those 3 different categories there, but Odyssey is quite beefy. And I could only do so much to simplify it, and hopefully that does help a lot. But having a buddy to chew through that on is super, super helpful. So it looks like great. We just had a buddy system born right here. Beautiful. The other part is COO, CEO. This is a slightly more advanced version of the buddy system, where maybe you're going through odysseys together, but you both are explicitly saying, hey, I need help, I need an operator, or hey, I need a base person, right? Someone who's doing the opposite of what you yourself are doing. And in that case, the ideal situation is that you're
basically practicing. Who knows if they'll be your partner for sure in the future, but you need to practice what it looks like to be handing that kind of work off. Because when you've got one business and you have to exchange either roles or projects or time or anything like that, you got to make sure that it's fluid and you have experience with them. So that's what this is supposed to do. And who knows, if you end up getting a business partner out of it, fucking great. That's even better. Do those two things make sense? Awesome. All right, Cola, I want to ask you in particular, what do you think about that with the CEO, COO situation?
Yeah, I think that's a really good idea. I haven't had a
Cool.
chance to, I haven't seen it. But yeah, no, hearing about it sounds really good.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, we're going to start having a framework, probably a list of SOPs that people can start following when they want to engage at that level. But I'd love for you to give me some feedback first about what direction, because you can get, like I say all the time, it can get complicated really fast. So I want to make sure it's hitting the lowest hanging fruit and it's a nice, clear way for anyone that doesn't want to engage with that. Cool. All right. So those are the two main buddy systems. The last one, which I'll just mention here, and Mignon, you and I will probably talk about it here in the near future. But this one is Team Teach, and it's because I've just gotten so many messages from a lot of you saying like, I would love to teach a thing in here, right? And we've had different classes or events that were taught weekly that people also shared with their own community, and so it was like there are people plus Captivate, which I was happy to share depending on what you're doing. Nav first started it when he was running the co-working calls, which he did for a period of time. But the reason behind that is because if you have, oh great, perfect, Robbie and Sierra, you guys buddied up here with Robbie? Cool. They're texting right now. Look at this. Look at that. They're messaging. There's Robbie right here in the DM. Love that shit. Okay. So the Team Teach is the idea behind it is that the most passionate people, especially like we were joking about having a little matriarch group or something like that have a particular what would you say, like chemistry with each other, could start hosting buddy calls for the community where you're practicing teaching. And that you should definitely be learning how to do that where you can, learning to teach, because you oftentimes will learn a lot more as you teach. And it's great to have exposure to at least a pretty significant audience that's not directly, like if let's say you're teaching mindset, right? Being able to have the opportunity to be in front of people, have a discussion, land a buddy, like reduce a lot of pressure from that, where you can be sharing that whatever information you have, and more importantly, hear the questions that people ask. That's the kind of stuff that helps a lot. And I know that there's quite a few, Alicia, Mignon, Lainey, that have been doing that a lot lately. They're like, oh, I'd like to do that. So that's what Team Teach is. We'll figure out a bit more. Message me, of course, if you're interested. Those of you that have already messaged me, we're already going to be planning a conversation here soon. So those are the three. First, does anyone have any questions about those three different buddy systems?
With the Teach one,
yeah.
Sorry, with the Teach one, you are providing an opportunity for people to teach the thing that they are teaching in their community, or you're providing an opportunity to teach something which you feel is relevant for the people in Captivate, like how to run their business.
Yeah, as long as it's relevant in Captivate, which actually is a pretty wide category. Yeah, sometimes people have done it. Sorry?
I was just saying, like Jan Hendrik said, he's doing relaxation exercises. So
yeah,
is he going to
exactly
practice teaching the relaxation exercise like that?
Yeah, exactly. So the best way to be able to do that is with a buddy. So instead of one person being in charge of that, which is a lot of pressure, we don't want that to be like another job. Once you do it because you're basically training yourself, getting more experience, and enjoying that process. Right? Before, there's a lot of people that like don't necessarily want to fuck with their own communities in order to do that, and that's perfectly fine, right? And so Lexi's a great example. He does the Unfuck Yourself calls, which I love. I join those things all the time. And she just loves doing that, right? But she's a member here that has just been a good buddy for a long time. And so it would basically be just like that in some kind of WLF system, where everyone takes turns deciding what they want to do or talk about. And yeah, what he teaches, the relaxation exercise, great example, because I really feel like it's kind of I say this a lot, the business side has two facets to it. There's the business, and then there's like the you part that you can often forget when you're busy putting in those hours in business. So yeah, I'm totally for that. Dan?
I was just wondering how much the teaching aspect is correlated with the mentoring aspect we talked in the previous call.
Yeah, exactly. That's just what I'm calling the thing. So I might call it Teach Mentor or something like that. I just give it a random name, but that's exactly the mentorship sort of system. So you could have, let's say you're doing a call, and from that could be birthed like a big brother, big sister sort of thing that would basically come, I believe, as a derivative of these things. Yeah. Great question. So cool. Of those categories, oh, another question? Zaya?
Yeah, I do. With the buddy teaching, so Jan just walked out of the room, but if he's going to say, I'm going to teach the relaxation to the fine folks at Captivate, the buddy is doing what exactly? Help me understand this. What's the buddy's role?
Well, they would work together to teach them. So Jan would try and would have to pick. Oh, thank you. You guys would have to pick something that the two of you would like to teach.
I see. It's like a co-teaching kind of environment.
Yeah,
two teachers
exactly.
For one. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of. I really enjoyed that in the past when I had opportunities to do it, and I realized that I learned a little bit more from co-teaching than I did from just doing it by myself. Yeah. So great, love that question. Any other questions for Kane? Jan, did you have any questions for that? Did you hear what we just said? Oh, Jan, did you hear what we just said before?
No, I was in the toilet for a minute.
It's all right. I understand. We all got to do it sometimes.
Yes.
Zion was just mentioning. Yeah. Zion was just mentioning, he was using you as an example. So if you were teaching a thing, how would a buddy system do it? And it doesn't necessarily have to be just two people, but the idea is that there would be at least two people teaching a thing that you would mutually have an interest in. Doesn't mean it has to be your offer that you do in your communities. In fact, this is an opportunity for you to do something that could be outside of that and still have an audience for it, but it has to be something that you are interested and passionate about, which is pretty clear if you are. All right, so then I want to spend a good chunk of the rest of this call sort of going through, and I'll start picking names if I have to, but I want to start figuring out what kind of buddies people might like to jump onto. And if you're focusing on Blitz right now and that is your priority, perfectly fine. I think what we're going to start doing is having like the buddy system and the Blitz sort of weave in and out of each other, so you get kind of two practices at any given time. So you can do Odyssey here or Blitz there, something like that. But ideally, it's not consuming every little moment. So the buddy system would hopefully be a spot for you to be able to be not full business all the time. So let me go ahead and pick here. Let's see. Oh, John, are you there?
Yes.
All right. So how do you say your name? Is it Jean?
Jan.
Jan. Okay, I'll remember the end. So, all right. So Jan it is. So what of the three kinds that I explained so far was most interesting to you?
Which thing was it? I don't remember it.
The three buddy systems that we referred to. One was going through the Odyssey. Right? One was having an operator or being the face, and the last one was teaming up in a buddy or in a group to teach a thing.
Okay. Yes. I'm teaming up with two good friends of mine, so I'm doing the teaching. My partner is doing like the design thing, so it looks all nice, the media design, And another friend of mine is doing like more the yoga part, so yoga for relaxation, so to say.
I love that. Okay.
Yes.
And in here in Captivate, would any kind of buddy system work for you? Any of those things from this side? Something that, like, of those, anything that would be helpful to you? Like
Yes.
running through Odyssey together for what, like, which one stands out to you the most?
I don't know.
All right. Cool. Keep mulling it over. I'd love to see. Maybe by the end of this call, if you can just think about it. And also, it's a class module as well if you want to look at it. But I'd love to hear which one stands out to you the most.
Okay.
Let's jump over here. Manuel, can you hear me? Yeah. Let's hear from you.
Yeah.
Which one stands out to you, man? And you just jumped on a little late, right?
I did, yeah. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
my
Do you
computer
mind
system
giving
was all down.
Yeah. What the fuck, dude? Hey,
I'm sorry. I can't. I'm sorry. My apologies. I was trying to fix this shit.
Give us your 30 second. What you're working on. What brought you here?
What I'm working on, like my community.
All of them. Any.
Well, yeah. I'm currently working on a community to help individuals quit their marijuana addiction, and I joined because you're the GOAT and you know a lot of shit, and I believe everyone in here knows a lot of things that I can, learn from. And I believe that the buddy system in which I'm, teaching, or where it's a collective. So I'm teaching something and I have another individual, sort of on the kind of on the promoting side of things, you know what I mean? I believe that would definitely be a good thing for me, only because of the fact that I don't have necessarily too many skills in promoting and reaching out, and so to speak, but I definitely do believe that I have enough of my story to teach other individuals how to overcome that addiction in a way.
Yeah, badass. Cool. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate that, man. What about from the Odyssey and the CEO, COO thing? Were either of those interested in it?
I'm not too well versed in it to give that answer, to be honest.
Okay, great. Good answer. I appreciate the sincerity. Yeah. Okay. So we'll keep cooking on that one. All right. Who shall pick on next? You can either say your name or someone else's. Let's see. Oh, Artem. I'm gonna pick on you next.
Yes. What's the question?
Well, the first question is your name short for Artemis?
Artem?
Yeah.
Yes. Short form is Toma.
Toma. Okay, so Artem, so Artem is not short for Artemis?
No. My name is Artem,
okay.
not Artemis.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
That's my dear.
You what?
Diana in Greek is Artemis. Yes, that's Artemis.
Oh, really? Oh, so you're the
goddess.
Oh, that's cool. I love that. So we have an Artem and an Artemis in this call. This is pretty exciting. Oh, cool. So Artem, my question for you is, which of those buddy systems is most interesting to you?
I figured out what buddy system, and I mean, like, I'm still not sure what these three mean,
Oh, okay. So let's go
explain?
through the
Yes.
first two a bit more thoroughly. So the first one, and you have questions on this. There's no super questions here. Everyone, you feel free to ask. So the first one is the buddy system for going through the Odyssey. I'm sure everyone has started watching the Odysseys, right? There's quite a lot to digest in there, and they're going to keep getting uploaded. In those, it's a lot easier to digest those kinds of things with another person. So that is what the buddy system is for Odyssey, where you watch the things together or digest them together, right? And then the other one is the CEO COO buddy system. So that is, hey, I'm trying to do this business, but I need an operator, right? We have a lot of operators in the community looking for faces, right? So depending on what you are, hey, I want to take my business to the next level, who here is interested in that other things, right? So those are the two main ones that probably most of us would do. Which of those is more interesting?
For me right now, I think the first one is more interesting, going through Odyssey. because
Great.
there's a lot of to digest. And I used to watch like self-improvement videos back then with my friends, and it's like a fun experience, and also like you remember a lot better when you do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Who else feels like art in here? Give me an emoji or something. Nice. Cool. So, okay. So Jan and Jen, right? Jen is how you say. Your mic is off.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's time to clarify my name. I've let it gone too far. My citizen name is Jan, and I call myself Yen. So
Yen. Okay. So we have Jan and Yen.
Great.
It's like yin and yang.
Are you from
But they're-
Germany too?
okay.
All right.
So yeah, I can imagine like on the path of my own self-improvement, I would appreciate an Odyssey buddy going or walking the path with me. And I also can imagine the other two, because each works different, but makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, I totally hear you. Okay. All right, cool. So we had Jan, Jen, Artem. Who else was interested in that one that Artem talked about? Absolutely. And Zion. Yeah, or is that a question?
It was a comment like this. I had the feeling like, I mean, I suppose you've already checked this out, but if everyone can do the class together, then it feels like there's something powerful about everyone in the class. But then there's people who are at different levels, so not everyone's going to start at level 1. But maybe like if there is a highlights reel or something like the bits clarity, like we're all doing about at 6 or whatever at this time, I can feel good about like, hey, we're all going to clarify a really core part of the Odyssey altogether.
Yeah,
because you're all here together and it's energizing. I just felt wouldn't it be great if the classes had all the students in it at the same time?
Wow,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. Yeah, it would probably have to be led by someone who's going through it, but that's a good idea. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, kind of learning groups or whatever, but not just like a buddy, because I think even like if people start at the same level, one might go way faster, or the other person might not need everything in the Odyssey, but just like cherry picking things that are important. That would be me, for instance. Just me a little. It's just going through a full classroom. So if you ask me to do that, that is feels like a little punishment, So if you ever want to, then you know what you need to do. So it's just but like if there would be like, by the way, we talk about this topic from the Odyssey in that little circle, I would be the first person, and that would be the reason for me to read it.
Yeah, that's a good point. So it sounds like if it was a very specific thing, it would be buddy, which so you'd want to find someone who's more or less at your level, and then interchange if someone grows quicker or slower. And then when we're talking about more general, hey, did I hit all those points? I guess it could possibly be what you're talking about, something where someone is going through that whole thing and being like, hey, today we're doing this, tomorrow we're doing that. Is anyone interested in that form that Zion has mentioned, where there would just be like a big walkthrough?
Or like a specific thing, like, okay, we're doing about page. Okay, we're doing VSL today. Everyone brush up on your VSL, and if you know little, you'll get stronger in what you know. If you don't know anything, you'll have a little bit of knowledge. Like, we're going to brush up on the latest in about page VSL or whatever, about page copy or about page VSL, like that. That was the idea.
And it can also turn into feedback rounds,
Yeah.
Especially when you say something like about us or VSL, so you just collect the feedback in the collaboration. What would be very nice.
Yeah. And so would that be something that I would lead in this case that you're imagining, or would that be something that just like that someone says, hey, this is what I want to do today. Who wants to do that with me?
To be honest, like I learned this from doing a uni class, and what it is literally like someone watching the classroom and being like an assistant teacher. So we watch your recordings of what you've already taught. You're the master, so we just watch your recording, and then it's like someone's facilitating everyone watching a particular recording like that. So it doesn't have to include you.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. It sounds
like
like a lot of people would be interested in that.
Okay. It reminds me, in a Czech school system, there is a pedagogical assistant in the class sometimes when there are some difficult kids, for example. So it reminds me this, and wanted to know that it's the other person can always see different things in you, and sometimes better than you. I have this experience from my mentors also. They help me to clarify my own things that I know, but I didn't notice before.
And this is the kind of thing you could get from doing what Zion's talking about. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Let's say let's say we were to do something like that and it started today or tomorrow. Who would want to host something like that? Yeah.
I could do it.
Okay. All right, great. So why
I would
not
have to
Zion?
invest myself in the classroom material first, and then I'd be like, oh, now I can sort of facilitate this as well. Or I don't need to know. I don't know.
I would say
Do I need to know?
starting tomorrow will be hard. I think it's just like it's nice, but you know, currently the Blitz is going on. I would give that like a week so that people can plan their time.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, really, it would be up to you guys to do it. If people join, great. If they don't, great. But I would urge you to record it. And if you give me that recording, I'm happy to upload that as well, so that we have, because that really could be its own thing. There's Odyssey, and then how you digest the Odyssey. So I'm completely happy if you can record that. Also, Jen, it looked like you were interested in potentially teaching there. So why don't you two get together after this and then talk about what that could look like? And I think with the two of you at the helm, it would be very interesting to see what that could turn into.
Yeah, I imagine that two people get on the topic, discuss together on a video call, and then present to the others, because each can have a bit different perspective. It could work. Interesting.
Okay. Cool. Okay. So do you guys have time after this call to meet up together?
I have another call after this call. So yeah, but maybe later we can. Sure.
Cool. Don, what do you think?
After this call to try this.
To
new
just
idea?
connect. Yeah, to connect with Jen, not necessarily to do it, but sort of talk over what it could look like.
Yeah, that'd be cool. After this call, it's late here at the
Yeah.
moment.
So
I'm not.
so
in a
why don't
great
you
time
guys
zone.
just message
I'll
each other?
connect with you.
then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd
I
like
think
to do
that'd be
that.
really- And whatever you
Yeah.
guys decide, I'm totally game. Just let me know.
Yeah, we will connect
Cool.
after this call. About later. Yeah.
Great.
Beautiful. Love that. Which I guess then leaves Artem. I think you and Jan should probably pair up and connect after this one as well, for Odyssey Buddies, and see what comes of the conversation between the two of you.
Yeah,
Jan, how's that sound?
I have another.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. I have another call at 19 o'clock, so not this time.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't have to be right after this call, but go ahead and connect with each other, and you guys can figure out a time that works with you.
Yeah, okay.
Great.
Oh,
Okay.
that sounds great. Okay. Karen, you had a question? Oh, we can't hear you. Your mic is off.
Sorry, my bad. Nice to meet you guys, all of you. I just was thinking that it will be like as well, like in the meetings with the IRL, that the bodies that are there, like for example, those that want to teach, that they can enjoy that space, you know, like not just virtually, there as well, like, hey, like the mission, like we're gonna be able to go there, let's go and, you know, like there are buddies that are gonna be teaching
Mm.
the members as well. The other ones that go to the meeting, they can know as well what the body system works and as well get the feedback how to improve. Like to get it in person and as well virtually. That will be nice.
Wow, that's a really cool idea. So like the buddies that get together here digitally could also teach something in person at one of these IRLs.
Yeah, because as well, for example, yesterday it was awesome because everyone was kind of sharing and imagine that, but with the bodies, and as well that of
Mm.
that, even if they're from different places, like they go there, like this is the first mission, like they did it just to get there to
Yeah.
the island, and then like the opportunity
Mm.
to show what they are doing, what they are teaching, that will be awesome.
Dude, that is such a good idea. Yeah, in my opinion, in my experience, the best because I've always been people from different places. Yeah. All right, thank you, Jan. Good hanging out with you, man.
Yeah, see you
Cool.
next
Yeah.
time. It was great. Bye.
Awesome, man. Bye, man. Yeah, that was a really, really good point. All right. Anyone else have some final thoughts? We've got a few more minutes here. Happy to field another question or thought. But I love the fact that we're all kind of like seeing different ways that this buddy system can be applied. Jen, go ahead.
Yeah, what do you think about switching your free community to paid? Because I was thinking a few times when I have just 15 members in my free, it would look maybe more attractive to if I suddenly make the price and people see, oh, 15 people for, let's say, for example, 200.
Yeah. No, that's a very, very good question. So what I have seen, so I can just tell you from my experience, is that can be helpful at a certain point. But your biggest ROI will usually come from it being free and you having paid people in there. You will always get respect just from having a big community. The bigger it gets, like as you make your way, to 1,000, for example, when you get that fourth digit, that's pretty cool. And you get a lot of clout for that in a free community. And if you have 1,000 people in a paid community, I mean, you're good. You're doing pretty well at that point. So my recommendation would be to keep it with free because you just get more from it. Where you're getting money, but it's more of a quiet thing, and you teach you free in there because you're just super engaged. However, there will be a point, and this is similar to what Mignon was talking about before as well, that you certainly could make that just a paid thing at some point. When you decide, the reason why you would do that practically is because you only want qualified people in there. If it's a very niche specific, high educational topic, then you probably don't want beginners to even muddy up the space. In which case you may get paid, there's a barrier to entry. Most people are going to drop off. Because I think we're all pretty familiar, like when you have something free versus $1, like there's not a whole lot of difference between zero and $1, but the conversion rate is massive. So you don't ever want to make it $1. You want it free or paid at the price that it's at. And deciding where that is usually depends on, is what you're teaching more beginner based or more advanced. And I'll give you one example. Atena, who we've talked about before, her software is great. It accomplishes a large number of things, but many of her clients are hyper organic, and school is not yet a very educated, business educated platform. A lot of people are mostly beginners, and that will mature over time. But as of now, it's too early. So you would have to have a whole section there for beginners, which she did not have, which meant there was significant churn, not because the product was bad, but because you weren't able to turn those members into qualified leads or qualified clients in a reasonable amount of time. It was a pretty big answer for what you asked, but was it helpful?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay,
I
cool.
have to say it was such a good question. You had everyone smiling.
Yeah.
Just the question itself was so pure and perfect. So thank you for
that-
asking it.
Probably because we've all thought
Everyone
about
knows
it. Yeah, so you're like, well, what if? Could I do that thing? And yeah, you can. the one thing I would say as well to it is you don't really get that many purchases. You'll get people who are like, "Oh wow, that's cool. You've got a community that's there," but unless you have that good offer and a sales call within a DM, very unlikely it's going to get a random sale.
Right.
Well, great fucking question. All right, you guys, unless there's anything else super urgent, I am going to go meet up with a bunch of the troop from Colombia and basically go through a lot of this stuff here, along with Santiago. I'm right here next to him and his computer. And so, if you have any questions about this stuff or IRL, like, please let me know. Feedback as well, because I really, it would be awesome if I got to meet all of you in person at some point or multiple points somewhere in the world, in your country or somewhere nearby. So, I'm really going to be leaning into this for the next couple of weeks and coming up with a plan. Any feedback would be greatly appreciated. All right, you guys, go ahead and meet up with your buddies, and I'll chat with you all soon. Love y'all. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, guys. Ay, qué cosa.